Let's walk the line. We got a newly added match to the UFC 311 fight card. If you want to say, unfortunately, we lose Sedriques Dumas. I'm not saying unfortunately because I like this new matchup much better. We have the current two-time defending LFA middleweight champion in Azamat Bekoev. Takes the fight on short notice. He's taken on the very exciting to watch Zachary Reese. So I'm very happy that we didn't lose Zachary Reese from the fight card. That's the most important thing that I took away from this. And I love this new matchup. It's very exciting. I'm going to break it down. We're going to dive into the numbers, the opening odds, and all that. I know you guys see me rocking my Azamat Bekoev haircut. Going to be rocking this all throughout the fight week. And got the Justin Bieber vibes going on. I know I need a haircut. But, you know, I figured I would just let it rock into fight night because you guys know I am back in Azamat Bekoev. And you guys will be hearing a lot more about that coming soon. Now, if you guys can, please all take a second to just smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and just to let you guys know, I have an 8-unit max play locked in on the card. I have 3 official plays locked in already. I'm filming this Wednesday afternoon. I am very much expecting to lock in a couple more official plays. There's a couple fights that I'm monitoring, but as of now, we have 3 official plays locked in with an 8-unit maxer on the table. If anyone's interested in those, reach out to me through email or shoot me a DM on Twitter or Instagram and go follow me while you're over there. And I'm more of an Instagram guy, just a heads up, guys, but I also do dabble with Twitter. Go follow me on both those. And before we head over to the new fight, I want to give a special shout out to my partners over at BetUS. If anyone's looking to sign up to a new sportsbook, make sure you reach out to me so I can get you my referral link and you get a 150% match on your first 3 deposits over at BetUS, which in my opinion is the best sportsbook out there. Don't hesitate. Reach out to me, guys. This is a great time to do it. We have a huge card lined up. And don't forget, guys, if you sign up through my referral link, you get an added gift from the teller. It's a gift that you could use for the UFC 311 fight card. So take advantage of that opportunity, guys. All right, let's get to it.
The teller.
So we'll catch back up with Zachary Reese here in a second, but let's get to know the UFC newcomer Bekoev. He comes into this fight on a 6-fight winning streak. As of recently, he's defending his championship over in the LFA. His last fight took place back in June of last year. He knocked out Chauncey Foxworth in the 2nd round. Foxworth, not really a fighter I have rated too high. Before that, he had victories over Lucas Fernando. I would say the Fernando victory is probably the biggest victory on his resume. If you guys forgot about Fernando, a very long fighter for the division. He took an L on Dana White's Contender Series. He's still relatively young, and I think we'll be seeing more from him down the line. He since bounced back with a win since he took that loss in DWCS against Cesar Almeida, who's proven to be a threat to the division. Before the Fernando win, he had a victory over Dylan Bucka. That's where he became the LFA champion. The title was vacant, so that fight there was for the interim middleweight championship. And although he did get his hand raised over a recognizable name, I actually look at that fight as a little bit of a blemish on his resume. I think it kind of lowers his ceiling because that was a fight that was very competitive. It went to a split decision. And as I just rewatched that fight, the fight is up on YouTube, Dylan Bucka tagged him up with some shots on the feet. And Bucka is not a fighter that I rate that highly. As some of you guys know, I faded him in his last fight against Andre Petroski, put some money in my pocket. Yeah, you could say he showed some toughness there. I mean, the fight prior, he was finished by Cesar Almeida. I just don't think that Bucka is really that guy that you should be going to a split decision with if you're a fighter that we're going to have our eyes on, okay? So, I mean, you could pump the brakes on the hype with Bekoev, in my opinion. And Bucka wasn't the first fighter to touch him up. I mean, you pull up his fight tape and you will see Bekoev landed on at times. I've seen him dropped within some of his fights. Okay, this is a fighter that although he has a technical style, offensive and defensively, I mean, he'll have his hands up nice and tight, but for some reason, he still eats shots. And I worry about that because if you get hit with the big shot by Zachary Reese, he can put you out, as we saw in that Julian Marquez fight. And just in general, Zachary Reese is a fighter that's going to go out there and throw the kitchen sink at you. He'll throw flying knees at you. He has no problem searching for that KO in any way he can get it. He doesn't mind falling down to his back because his jiu-jitsu skills are nasty. I also just want to highlight, I'm not that high on the level of opponent that Bekoev has faced thus far. He does have his scattered L's. He took an L against Rafael Haratak. That fight took place not too long ago, back in 2021. That was a fight where he got subbed in the 3rd round via scarf hold. Okay, and that was a fight where he was searching for his own takedowns throughout the fight, and he kind of slowed down as it went to that 3rd round. and he was subbed. And we need to see more from Reese in the later rounds. I understand that. He's a fighter that has only left the first round just once, and that was in his last fight against Jose Medina. But his cardio looked fairly good in the later rounds. I have a gut feeling if this is the type of fight that goes to the later rounds, I think Zachary Reese will still be in there, and he'll still be the type of fighter that's hunting for subs because his jits is nasty. All right, he has a super active guard, and he has these very long limbs that give him leverage to search for all types of wild subs. You've seen him pull off an armbar. That's what he pulled off on DWCS against Eli Aronov, got that first round armbar. He doesn't have an overwhelming amount of submission victories, but trust me when I tell you, he knows what he's doing down in the mat. Okay, you could see it when you watch his fights, right? You take a look at the Cody Brundage fight. That's the major blemish on his resume. He made a horrible error for holding on to that sub as long as he did. He basically had the triangle locked in and he held onto it too long, was slammed on his head. Okay, but look how active the guard was. Look how he used his legs to snatch that sub up. He was too stubborn and he held on to it too long. Okay, but he knows what he's doing. He knows how to find subs down there. And I think you're going to see him really start to string off a lot of submission victories as his UFC career progresses. Standing, I really like some of the development that Reese has shown as of recently. He has a huge frame. Okay, he's going to have a 5-inch reach advantage here. It's not even just the reach advantage that he's going to have. I mean, he's about 6 inches longer and taller, and he has these huge legs, and he's been blasting those body kicks in his fights. So I think he could use that here as well. Bekoev, maybe more technical. Like I said, I mean, he'll have more of a technical type of style, and that could help him land on Reese. I think there'll be some openings for him to land on Reese as well. And the same way we saw Reese slammed on his head and finished, I think that Reese could be the type of fighter that we see have some miscues in the cage defensively and even have him knocked out on the feet because he's very aggressive. I could see him coming in looking for his own finish and being countered at times, okay? Is Bekoev going to be the fighter that hits him with the counter as he's coming in? It's possible, but I would say as a whole, I think it's Reese that will get the better of those striking exchanges, especially if we see a knockout, especially if we see an early finish. I think it's more so Reese just making things wild in there and him landing his shot. Those flying knees, he throws all types of wild stuff. He'll mix in the elbows, and I could see him making this ugly and that benefiting him. So where am I going with my pick? How do I see this fight taking place? Let's make this official. I have Zachary Reese winning this fight. I like the fact that he was training for this date. Bekoev didn't have a fight that he was training for. As of recently, at least that's not known. There was no official fight that he was training for. I'm sure he's still been very active. And you check out his Instagram, he's very much involved over at American Top Team in Coconut Creek. You see him training with Masvidal and all those guys over there. So I do believe that he's been training for a fight. I'm not saying he's coming off the couch, but I like the fact that Reese was training for the date. Southpaw versus Southpaw, I think it opens up the opportunity more so for something wild to happen, and that's the type of environment that Reese thrives in. And I'm a big Zachary Reese fan. I really want him to put it together. I hope that he has a lengthy UFC career because he is an entertaining fighter. And don't forget, there's a reason why he could not get a fight on the regional scene. Nobody would sign up to fight this guy. Okay, there's a reason for it. Okay, he's well-rounded. He's dangerous. He's nasty. He's huge for the division. And he will take his L's here and there. I believe that. I think the Brundage fight kind of showed that. He has a lot to learn. He needs more cage time. He wasn't able to get as much cage time throughout the years, but there will be some learning experiences for him. But I think that this is a fighter the UFC will give a lot of opportunities to because he's that exciting. Even if he takes an L here, he'll get another opportunity. I really hope that he continues to put it together and grows as a fighter because his ceiling is very high. Okay, now we take a look at the opening odds.
Lock and load.
Bekoev opens up right around a 2-1 favorite, opens up right around a -210. He's as high as a -225 on some of these sports books. Okay, so people have some faith in him, and I'm not saying he's a bad fighter, but I think that he's being overvalued, maybe for the fact that his last name ends with the V. Okay, he's of Russian descent, and a lot of people look at those types of fighters very highly. Okay, and rightfully so. Okay, you look at the guys at the top of this card, Umar Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev. I mean, these guys know what they're doing, and people kind of just bunch them up all together. They're very professional. They're very technical. Zachary Reese is a different animal, but I'm telling you, don't overlook what Zachary Reese brings to the table because he's a wild dude, and I think the value is on Zachary Reese as the dog. There's no question about it. I'm picking him to win the fight straight up. The value is on the dog here. And not only do I have Reese winning this fight, but I think that he finds the finish. I've been a little bit torn with what method of victory I want to go with. The majority of Reese's victories do come by way of knockout, but we've never seen Bekoev knocked out, even though he does get touched up a little bit on the feet. The one time we've seen Bekoev finish was via submission. Reese only has 2 submissions, but he's also very dangerous down there. I don't think that number really sums up who he is as a fighter. He's dangerous with his grappling. I'm going to lean more towards him finding a submission, but I would not be surprised if he gets to finish either way. All right, guys, that's going to wrap this one up. Obviously, I was a little excited for this one. Zachary Reese is a fun fighter to watch, and I'm also excited to see Bekoev make his UFC debut and see what he's all about. All right, being a champion over in the LFA, it's obviously something to be respected. LFA, one of the main regional promotion feeders to the UFC, so we do put some merit there, and I'm excited for this matchup, but more so, I'm really hoping that Reese can end up proving himself in the octagon and being a fighter that hangs around for some time, so we constantly get to see the Zachary Reese showcase. Hopefully we see more of him in some press conferences as he'll come out with the cowboy hat and the big old boots, and he's a big boy for the division, so I think that he could be a real character in the game, if you guys know what I'm saying. He's kind of like a video game character. He could be this big, wild cowboy type of dude. And hey, don't forget, I got that 8-unit maxer locked in for the card. Reach out to me if you're interested. Please smash the like button, guys. Please, guys, subscribe before you head out. I'm wishing you guys all a great week, and you'll see a lot more from me. I'm about to work on a prop edition video, so you guys will see that here on the channel, and you'll see all types of content coming your guys' way. I'm working on a little wacky video that I'll have posted as well, a little wild one. And you guys all have a great week. Signing out. Teller.
The teller. The teller. The teller.